Hey everybody, happy Monday. Oh, no, it's not Monday. It's Wednesday. Well, we're starting off with a bang. Happy Wednesday. Oh my goodness, it's late. Oh, thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. I'm super excited to be here as I show you all the projects that I made in my book, Make It Mini. We're going to talk about our brand new sew-along that is kicking off tonight. And we're just gonna have a blast talking about all the things. So I'm really excited to show you these quilts. It's something to see them in the book, but it's really fun to see them just, well, like you're not in person, but to see the actual quilts, not just photos of the quilts, right? So I have a lovely pile here. I'll just curl up on it and take a sleep. No, we're not gonna do that. No napping yet. But we're going to talk about all the things. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Bev McCullough. Flamingo Toes is my company name. And we are just really excited to kind of sew along with this mini quilt. I'm doing another big sew along for the quilt behind me. It's my Daisy a Day quilt. But we wanted to also make just a fun, like smaller version. A lot of times people are busy going into the holidays. Sometimes, you know, you want to make, I mean, you're certainly able to make both if you would like to. You don't have to pick one or the other, but maybe if you want a small project, this is a better fit for you or something like that. So I hope you're excited about it. This is the book, Make It Mini. It's published by Martingale and it's available lots of places. You can find it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Fat Quarter Shop, Missouri Star. Lots of quilt shops are carrying it. I have it in my shop if you would like signed copies. Or you can buy it straight from Martingale, and I actually have a link for you today in the video description, both to my shop and to Martingale. If you would like to purchase a digital copy, those are at Martingale. So if you are overseas and you're not wanting to pay the shipping, which I totally get, shipping is crazy expensive, then the digital copy might be a great fit for you. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as far as what to do if you get just things to watch out for with the digital copy. Just want to make sure you're printing the patterns at full size, but we won't worry about that yet. So anyway, Make It Mini, and this is what this is Make It Mini night. So I want to see who's here and say hi. Let's see, so I'm streaming live to both Facebook and YouTube right now. So over in my Facebook group, we have Allison and Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda says, yay, Make It Mini time. Wendy's here, and Rhonda said, let's sew. Yes, happy Wednesday. Oh, Rhonda said she got a signed copy. Thanks, Rhonda. I'm so glad. And we have a ton over on YouTube. Dolores is here. Therese is here. Praying everyone is safe in the path of Hurricane Ian. Yes, if you're all in the Florida or anywhere up on that coast, I just hope you guys are okay. Lots to pray for there. We have two Theresas, and we have Diana's here from Utah. Roxy's here. Hey, Roxy. How you doing? Oh, you're good, Roxy. Okay, good. Let's see. Sari's here. Sorry, Sari. I don't want to say your name wrong, but she's here from Central Florida. Deborah's here. Lindy. I love the way you spell your name, Lindy. That's so great. She just ordered the book. Thanks, Lindy. Yay. And Erin's here. We have JCB from Texas. For those in, oh, let's see. Dolores says she loves the book. Thanks. Jean's here from South Carolina. Christine's here. Hey, Christine. And Doris. Oh, my goodness. Oh, from Doris from Kingston, Tennessee. I love Kingston, Doris. That's such a cute town. We lived in Lenore City for a year before we moved over here by Nashville. So we went and, at least if I'm thinking of the right Kingston, over there kind of by the Knoxville side, I think. So anyway, I love it over there. Dakota, she got her Sew Sampler box. So exciting. Yay, Dakota. If you aren't familiar with what that is, Fat Quarter Shop does a monthly mystery subscription box. So you pay a certain amount and then you get a whole bunch of fun things in it that are higher than the value of what you paid, which is always awesome. And so this month had Daisy Fields in it. So I'm glad you were excited about that, Dakota. Hey, Laura from Chile, Georgia. It's cold here too. We're not entirely sure. I don't think winter's here yet, but fall is definitely cool. We're starting off here. So let's see. Lori's here from North Carolina. Yay! So, I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope that you're excited to sew along. I can't wait to see what fabrics you're sewing with. Unlike the Daisy a Day quilt, which I think most of us are sewing with Daisy Fields fabrics, for this quilt along, we are going to, it's just the sky's the limit. Let me show you the quilt that we're going to be making up. So, and I'll show it again when we do the trunk show, but this is the Spring Flowers Quilt. So you can see that it is perfect for scrappy projects because these blocks aren't very big, and then and there are 8 of them, so that's awesome. You can just do a quick pull from your stash or scrap bins or whatever, and then in the center is this darling, I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit, darling embroidered heart that you can color match to your fabrics, and that really personalizes the center. And we're going to talk at the end when we go over the sew along dates and everything. We're going to talk about ways to customize this block. You can absolutely sew along with us. If you don't want to do the embroidery, you could do another whole block here, or I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that later. But that is the quilt that we're going to do in our sew along. And there's going to be lots of options for you as far as fabrics. I was going to make up a Christmas version, but I'm going to do a fall version instead. And so when I'm done with the trunk show, I will show you guys what fabric I'm going to use for that. So it's really fun. Yay. Carrie, you're going to use the same as me. Are you using Stardust? Hi, Carrie, you're still awake. Yay. Oh, Dora says she's surprised I'm familiar with Kingston and Lenore City. I love it. Yes, it's so sweet. Such a sweet area. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about all the things. Okay, so I think we're just going to let's do giveaway first. So every week in the sew along, I'm going to do a giveaway. You guys know I love giveaways. And so they're really easy to enter. All you have to do is leave a comment, whether you're watching live or later in the week, and whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, anywhere, it's great. You just leave a comment and that's your entry. Super easy to do. And you can do that even if you're international too. I don't mind shipping internationally at all. So what I have for you and I'll announce the winner for this next week, I have a Daisy Fields 10-inch stacker. This is my one of my current collections with Riley Blake right now. You can kind of see the colors there. And hopefully you guys aren't sick of Daisy Fields. I know a lot of you have it already. If you would rather have Christmas Adventure, I have some 10-inch stackers of that as well, so you can have your choice. But I thought a 10-inch stacker would work great because you could pretty much make, well, I think every quilt in the book with a 10-inch stacker because they're mini quilts, so you don't need a ton of fabric for it. So I have a 10-inch stacker for you. I have a Make It Mini book for you in case you don't have that already. If you do have it already, we will talk about alternatives for you. You can choose something else from the shop. And I have my brand new bee needle minder for you guys. Let me see if I put it over my face, it might. Nope. Let's do this. There, now you can see it. This is the bee needle minder that I designed to go with Daisy Fields. Isn't she so sweet and pretty? So, and if you're not familiar with a needle minder, what it is a magnet, double magnets. There's actually 2. One is glued to the cute front and one is loose on the back. And these are perfect for holding your needle when you're not stitching. So you just put the cute side on the front of your project and the loose needle on the back, which holds it in place, and then you just rest your needle on there when you're not stitching, and it keeps you from, well, losing your needle for one thing. You don't have to put it through your fabric or in the arm of your couch or in your foot or your cat's foot or anything like that. Accidentally, of course. But it's just a really cute, fun way to keep track of your needle when you're not stitching. And they're great for embroidery. They work for cross stitch. I use them with quilting and binding as well. So, so this is this week's giveaway, and I'll announce the winner next week. So that's super exciting. Okay, so let's just dive into, oh, you guys love Daisy Fields. Yay, thank you. Dolores said that Kimberly Jolly showed 2 new needle minders on her floss tube today. Hey, that's awesome. That's great, Dolores. Good to know. Okay, so let's dive into Make It Mini, and I'm going to show you each of the projects in the book, and I'm going to prop my book open here so that I can check out my refresher for the names, because I don't know, it's very hard to remember the names of these things. And a couple of these I'm going to have to stand up for, but most of them I can show them to you. Okay, so the first project in the book is called A Fresh Start. This is the quilt. It's made up of different sized flying geese, and then it has all the little flying geese point to this pretty little bouquet that's down in the corner. And I'm going to switch the camera so that you can see that embroidery a little bit better. So this is a very fun collection, and I love the way the different prints and the different sized flying geese sort of work together to have a lot of movement in the quilt. And then this sweet little embroidery is the most fun little bouquet here. And the stitches that we're going to learn in this sew along will allow you to basically stitch anything in the book. So it's going to be really a great project to start with. So again, this is the first one, A Fresh Start. We're just going to go back and forth from the main camera and then the close-up camera a lot here. So as I said, this is Spring Flowers, and this is the one we're doing for the sew along. And you can see with the size of the blocks and these cute little flower blocks that it's very stash friendly. I didn't really talk about the quilting on that one. For the quilting of this one, I did a, let's go over here, a kind of a crosshatch sort of pattern. Well, yeah, it's exactly like a crosshatch pattern. And I quilted up to the flowers and then on, around it. And so I skipped over, only because I didn't want to hit these big woven roses. But the rest of these things I could probably have just quilted over and it would have been fine. So here's a little bit of a better image of that pretty heart that we're going to do. And we're going to learn several stitches. We're going to go over a couple stitches a week, and we're going to learn everything that you need to make this cute heart. So, and I can't wait to see your fabrics. Definitely share your photos of your fabric pulls on Instagram and in the Facebook group so that we can all see what you're making, because we want to see. It's always so fun to see what everyone else is sewing with, right? Oh, Carrie likes the crosshatch. Yay! Yes, all the embroidery in the book is hand stitching. So, and in the book I have lots of tips for you if hand embroidery is not your thing, for ways to personalize it, ways to make it your own without doing the hand embroidery. But I have a lot of hand embroidery videos, tutorials on YouTube that you can check out, and then we're going to learn a lot in this sew along as well. So don't let that scare you. Okay, so the next one in the book is called Daisy Farm. This little baby is one of my favorites because she's just so cute. It's not very big, but who can resist a cute little barn, right? I love this little barn. This is made up of Blossom Fabrics by Christopher Thompson, And so I just did an assortment of even the little clouds, and I don't know if you can even tell the background is blossom as well. It's a white on white background. And then for the embroidery on this one, I added, so it's Daisy Farm. Did I say Daisy Farm or did I say Daisy Fields? There's a lot of daisies in our life right now, which is not a bad thing at all, but it's very easy to get them mixed up. So these are embroidered daisies, and they're very simple to do. They're just satin stitching on the daisies, and then French knots for the center. Let's see if I can hold that up so you can see that a little bit better. It's very bright in here, so it's kind of losing the texture. But anyway, this one's Daisy Farm, and it's a really fun one to sew together. Pat Sloan made up a version in the book tour out of some florals. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out on her Instagram account. It's so cute. And so I'm excited to make up another version of this in some prints. So that is Daisy Farm. Cynthia says, so glad she bought this book and still have Stardust. Yay! Thanks so much. Dorothy said it's so cute and she has Stardust fabric left from a picnic quilt. Oh, that's awesome, Dorothy. Yay. Sorry. Dolores says she loves the quilt block on the barn. Yay, me too. Okay, so this one is a really fun one. This is called the Stepping Stone Quilt. This one also I quilted with a crosshatch. I'm going to hold that up a little bit better. This is such a fun one. A lot of times with a mini quilt, we like to use them as table toppers, but a lot of the time there's just a big block in the center that you don't want to cover up. Well, this one is perfect for using as a centerpiece for a table because it does have some piecing in the center, but really the star of the quilt is at the sides. So it's these sweet little scoops of flowers and leaves that are in each corner. And so it's perfect for putting on your table, and then, you know, you can set your centerpiece here in the middle of your vase, or, you know, a little pretty stack of books, or, you know, a candle or anything like that. So this one is a really fun one. Several people did this in the book tour as well. So you can check out that those projects, especially if you look up the Make It Mini book hashtag. You can see a lot of those projects there over on Instagram. So again, this one's called Stepping Stones, and I did that same crosshatch pattern on it. And this one is a really fun one for using as a table topper. Oh, also to show you guys on the back of this one, I used my Hush Hush basic that I designed for Riley Blake. So it's, I don't know if you can even tell, but it's got the tiny pink flamingos on the back. So that one's a really fun one. Get those out of the way there. Okay, so the next one is called Blooming Heart. This is a fabric collection by Anka's Treasures, and this one is so sweet. It's not very big, as you can see, and so it goes together really quickly, and the embroidery is relatively small. So on this one, I wanted the patchwork to have a lot of texture, so I created the patchwork with the small blocks, but then occasionally throughout this patchwork we have an embroidery design that's just really, they go together really fast because it doesn't take long to stitch these little flowers. And then we have a big heart flower over here, and around the heart I have done a little bit of a running stitch with embroidery so you can, so that the, oops, don't look at that. Click on the wrong button there. So that you can see that the heart really stands out. You can see the stitching a little bit better here. So all of this is done by hand, though you can use a Sashiko machine if you have one. And then this, all these little hearts or flowers on the white background here are embroidered. So I chose colors that matched with my fabrics here a little bit. And then I also fussy cut this little square in her fabric, says stitch on. How cute is that? I feel like this one would be a really fun one to make up for a friend, especially if you're needing to cheer somebody up, or if you just have a friend that you want to say, hey, you're the best, this is a great one for that. It's just a cute little design that doesn't take very long to stitch. Rhonda likes the idea of the stepping stones doing the center of the table topper, so that's great. Oh yeah, okay. So Dolores, I did the embroidery on all of these before I quilted them. On everything I did the embroidery, and then I sewed. Either I did the embroidery and then sewed up the quilt, or I sewed up the quilt and did the embroidery, and each project tells you when to embroider, but on all of them I did it before quilting, because I didn't want my stitching on the back of the quilt. So you can see there's nothing on the back. It's all done piecing and then quilting. So most of these things, because they're pretty flat, you can quilt right over. As long as it's not like a woven rose or really thick satin stitch, you can quilt right over it. If it's one of those two things, then you can stitch up to it, stop, and then kind of continue stitching after it. And that's what I did with a lot of these. So, oh, Dolores, you said you got 3 charm packs of Hush Hush. I just love it. It's so cute. Hi, Michelle. Oh my goodness, it's 1 a.m. in England. Oh my goodness, it's very late there. Pam's here to see the fun quilts, and she's got the book. Yay! Okay, so this one is called Beautiful Day, and it's one of my favorites in the book. I love them all, but for some reason this little one is one of my favorites. This one also is pretty small, so it's a great size to make up for a friend. It would be a great housewarming gift. It would look great in daisy fields if you wanted to do that, because the embroidery is flowers and a little honey hive, a beehive. Where's my brain? And then a cute little bee down here. And there is a little bit of stitching that connects the bee to his little house. So you can see it better here. So there's a cute little line of stitching here. And I did do this after I pieced. So I stitched each of these, and then I pieced the whole quilt together, and then once the top was done, I added this running stitch so that I could stitch over the piecing. And again, all those instructions are in the book, so it's really easy to reduplicate. This one is nice because it doesn't take a ton of fabric. Obviously, these pieces are pretty small, and it only takes 2 colors of floss if you would like to keep it. You can go multicoloral, of course, and you can do anything you like. But this is, I think this collection was Gingham Foundry. It came out last year. A lot of these collections are from last year because you know how far ahead you have to work with a book. I tried to get them as soon as they were out as much as I could, but this one would look great if you made it up in daisy fields, because it would really blend with the theme too. So that one is called Beautiful Day. And then we have the Hexy Flowers Quilt. And I don't think there's an up on this one. But this is Hexy Flowers. I really wanted to put several different styles of stitching in this book. And so we have traditional piecing, we have one project that's English paper piecing, and then we have a little bit of applique as well. We're going to get to that next. But if you've never done English paper piecing and you want to try it, this is the perfect project to try it with, because it's not a lot. You're just making a few little hexagon flowers, and then you don't have to piece them and match them together. You're actually just stitching them right onto the background fabric here. So this one's really fun. And for the embroidery on this one, rather than do flowers, I really wanted to highlight the hexagons. So I copied the hexagon shapes, and I just kind of stitched out the rest of the design. Let me show you a close-up here. So now you can really see that I've kind of carried those hexagons all throughout the quilt. So this one is a really relaxing and fun one to stitch up. Andy Knowlton from A Bright Corner made up this for her stop on the book tour, and her version is gorgeous, you guys. So definitely check out her. It's at A Bright Corner on Instagram. So make sure you check out hers, and then you can see her version. It's always fun to see a quilt in different fabrics, isn't it? This is Lori Holt's Fabrics. I believe this was her stitch collection from last year. And I loved how the colors really made those hexagons pop. So, so Dolores said the embroidery scares her. She's not embroidered in over 20 years. Okay, I got you, Dolores. We're gonna work on that in this month. So we're gonna have you stitching again like a pro. And Marie's here. Hey, Marie. She's late checking in. She's on the road. Can't get home because of Ian. Okay, Marie, please be safe. Okay, I'm so sorry you can't get home. So Rhonda asked what the difference is between EPP and Foundation and FPP. So EPP is English paper piecing, and that is where you're basically sewing, you're using a piece of paper as the base of this, and you're kind of stitching it around. Foundation paper piecing is you're actually sewing right to the paper to make a lot of really cute shapes. Christopher Thompson does a lot of foundation paper piecing, and Christy Leah for a quiet, what's her Quiet Place? No, that's the movie. What's her handle? I don't remember. It's Christy Leah, so check her out. She's amazing. During Quiet Time, I think. There's quiet in there. I'm so embarrassed that I don't remember. She does some amazing work. So it's more English paper piecing is done by hand. Foundation paper piecing is done by the machine. So that's the difference there. So these are assembled by hand, and then you remove the papers, and then you can sew it to your project either by hand or by machine. So that's the difference there. Okay, so next we have Home Sweet Home. This one is another great one. Oh, I didn't turn back to the camera. This one is another great one for a gift, and it would be so cute in holiday colors if you did it up for Thanksgiving. You know, maybe you want to take it, if you're going home for Thanksgiving and you want to take it for wherever you're going, or you could do the same thing for Christmas. Or if somebody moves into a new house, this is a really, really cute one to make up. So this is all pieced, except for the Dresden is pieced but then appliqued on, and then there's just a little bit of stitching across the top that says Home Sweet Home. There you go, you can see it a little bit better. And then I also stitched around some of the elements, the tree and the house and the sun up here. You guys know I love a quarter Dresden. So I had to include them in the book. Quarters are half Dresdens. They're really my favorite, because then the Dresden fan pieces don't have to line up, and you can just, there's a lot of forgiveness here. And so this I appliqued down with a machine. You can do it by hand, but I just used a little blanket stitch on my machine. Let's see if you can see those stitches. They're really tiny. So like right in here, stitch, stitch, stitch. My machine does that. But this embroidery is all done by hand. So this one would be a really great one as well to make up if you wouldn't have to add the embroidery to it. You could just make it up as it is, and it would be just a really sweet little mini quilt with the heart in the house. So this is Melanie Colette's collection, and it's from last year as well. So that's a really fun one. Sheila loves the Home Sweet Home. Oh, yay, Sheila. Okay, so next up we have Garden Rose, and this is such a fun one. So this one's a little bit bigger, and it has these 3 big flowers in the center, and they say plant and grow and bloom. And I love this like peachy background. It kind of made those flowers really pop. So these are so fun to piece together. Again, a perfect scrappy project because the flowers themselves don't use a whole lot of fabric. They're pretty small. You just would need, you know, probably to pick up some background, though most of us probably have background fabric lying around that is left over from something or the other, right? And so for these, this is Gracie Larson's collection, and I just love the contrasts and the colors here. So for these, I did the word stitching, and then I did a little bit of decorative stitching inside with that running stitch. And these would be really easy to change up too. I mean, I picked Plant, Grow, and Bloom, but you could do anything. You could make up a cute flower set, and maybe they're a baker. And even though it's flowers, you could do bake and cook and, I don't know, eat. Or sewing words or anything like that. So you could really personalize this one really easily as well. And this one's a fun one and a pretty fast one to sew up. Such a fun design. Oh, Wendy likes it. Yay! Oh, okay, so I don't know who this is. LALR929 on YouTube said that the flower one, she would put her 3 kids' names in the centers. I love, love, love that idea. How cute would it be to do a little runner and all of your kids are in here? So if you've got 4, 5, 6 kids, 1 kid, you could just do different flowers and make it into a runner or something like that, and just keep adding names as you have kids or grandkids in there. Oh, grandkids would be so cute too, right? I love that idea. Lori, sorry, Lori. So that would be a really, really fun one. Okay, now you guys loved this one, and everybody loved this one. It's one of my favorites too, but this is the Sweet Orchard quilt. So this one is the cover girl of the book. This is the Sweet Orchard, and it is made up of these cute, now I went with like kind of an orange or peach kind of vibe, but I guess maybe peaches is what I was thinking. But they could easily be oranges or apples or anything like that. You could make it for fall with little apples. Wouldn't that be really cute? And then it has a stitched border, and it says "So Sweet" down here at the bottom. Christopher Thompson did this one for the book tour, and he did a solid border, and I love how that looks as well. So you can check that out on his Instagram account, The Tattooed Quilter, and check it out and see what it looks like with just a solid border here if you don't feel like doing the pieced borders. This one doesn't have a lot of embroidery. It just says "So Sweet." So you could do that, or you could leave it off like he did. So it's a really fun one. And these blocks are so fun, and there's only 4 of them, so they go together really quickly. I think I've said that they go together really quickly, like, I don't know, 8 times. But they're mini quilts, so of course they go together really quickly, right? Like, that's their job, is to be small and cute. Okay. So this is the smallest one in the book, and this is the Vintage Bouquet. I love this one. And as I explained in the book, I always have fresh flowers on my kitchen counter. Fresh, mostly fresh. Today, I'm feeling guilty because today in the kitchen, they're like dead. And so I need to get to the grocery store and get more. But I really, really love having fresh flowers in the kitchen. And so this is kind of shows off my love for that. It has just a single vase full of flowers. Sorry. And it's really fun to sew. This one is a great one to practice your stitching as well, because it's almost like a sampler, and you can really have a good time with all of those flowers. You can see how pretty they are. And you can mix and match them to your fabrics, of course. So this is my Stardust, and so I chose flowers and leaves and things that would kind of blend with that. So this would be a really great gift for a friend as well, because it's not a huge gift, and you could just kind of sew it up. This one would be sweet for holidays too. It's obviously great for spring or summer anytime, but you could definitely do it up with fall colors, or even Christmas colors would be really, really cute. So, and for this one, I didn't quilt it with my machine. I had done the background of this as Lori Holt's bee cross stitch background. So I just stitched over some of the X's. So you can see that her fabric has these cute little like cross stitches in it, but I just went ahead and used that same gold, and so I did little cross stitches all over to quilt it down, which you can't see on the back side because it's pink. But that was my quilting on this one. So rather than use the machine to quilt it, I just hand quilted it with these darling little cross stitches. And I love the texture. Susie asked if I'm enjoying my sewing room at home. Yes, very much, Susie. It's very nice to be here. Thank you. Teresa says her daughter just had her wedding centerpieces all in mason jars. That would be awesome to recreate her wedding mason jar with blue flowers. I love that, Teresa. What a great idea. That's so cute. Beth said that the vase is so cute in Stardust. Thanks, Beth. Yay. Okay, this one I have to stand up for. So I have to get up off my little stool here because it's the biggest one in the quilt, in the book, and it's called Love to Quilt. Let me back up a little bit. Now, I'm by biggest. This one is, I think it's 30 or 33 inches or something like that. So it's really not that big, but it is bigger than the others, obviously. So this one is made up of 2 cute quilt blocks, and in the big kind of roundish quilt blocks, I have some quilty phrases. So let me turn this around and show you what that is. This one is, even though it's big, ooh, I'm gonna fall. Even though it's big, it doesn't take that long to stitch the lettering. And I actually have recorded a video at Riley Blake Designs when I was there at Garden of Quilts a couple weeks ago for a tutorial on how to make this. So if you have the book, I will post when that video is available so that you can follow along and make this too. So this is Tasha Noel's Quilt Fair fabric. It's out right now. It's been out for a little while, but you can see some of the really cute little elements in her fabric. Look at this with the little quilts on the rack, and it says Quilt Show. And she's getting a little ribbon for her thing. And this one says Homemade Jam. I love that. And then this one sells vintage quilts. Her drawing is so darling. So what I've done is, because I was using quilty fabric, I have chosen words that go with quilting. So I have quilts and stitch and love and then create and sew. But this one is also highly customizable. Like maybe you don't use quilting fabric. Maybe you use baking fabric, or for heaven's sake, you could do anything. You could do, sports fabric. Maybe they love to run and you could pick different words that are, oh, Dolores says it's 30 by 30. Thanks, Dolores. You could do anything with this as far as how to customize it to your own hobbies. I mean, obviously, if you're watching, you probably love quilting. But you could do it for a friend. You could do it as a gift, or you could even do it holiday-wise. So maybe if you did Christmas fabric, you could do, joy, and just do like joy, hope, peace, faith, love, things like that in there if you did some different Christmas words. So think about that as far as like ways that you can make the quilts your own. You definitely do not have to make them just like I have. I love it when you take my ideas or the ideas in a book or pattern I've written and really make them work for you and work for your gift ideas and for your own home. So anyway, that got weird. Anyway, this one's called Love to Quilt, and it is a fun one and a big one. That's our big one. Okay, so last one in the book. I love this quilt, you guys. It's called Walking on Sunshine, and this one uses the sweetest little curved template. Okay, so go back into that. Wendy said baby words would be sweet with that nursery fabric. I love that idea, Wendy. That is so cute. Okay, So back to Walking on Sunshine. This one is a great project if you've never done anything with curves before, because it's the template's in there and you don't have to make a ton. The curve is pretty gentle and you don't have to match them up except for right here. And so it gives you practice matching up your circles, but most of them you're not matching up the curves. Like here and here, you know, they're kind of opposite each other. So there's a lot of layout choices with this one as well. So any way you turn this, you have options. So this is all the same block. I've just turned it different directions. But this one you could do like maybe you want 4 circles in it, or, you know, no circles in it or something like that. So it's a really fun one, and it's a great way if you've been wanting to try curves to give them a try, because they're easier than you think. You just kind of go slow and kind of ease your things together, and then you have this darling quilt. So this is Christopher Thompson's fabric. It's called Saturday in Paris. It's really fun, you guys. It has prints with really cute little designs. Like, I love this little bike. There's cute, and hats, and it says Paris, and little florals everywhere. And then, of course, the Eiffel Tower. So I took this center section and then I added a little wreath to the middle. And again, this one would be very easy to customize for someone else's coloring or for a holiday. Very cute for Thanksgiving or Christmas too, because you could just change up your stitching to match whatever fabric you're using, and then it would be really sweet. And this one is stitched on after the quilt is assembled, because you can see you're stitching over those seams. So it's kind of a fun, different way to change things up. So those are all the quilts in the book. Now I'm going to give you 2 little sneak peeks at projects that I wrote for the book that because we could only fit a certain number of projects in the book, they didn't make it in. But I'm going to release the patterns, and so these are fun things to look forward to. I don't have release dates on these yet, but they're coming. And I can't remember their names. I remember the second one's name, but I don't remember this one's name. I'm trying to think. It doesn't matter. So this one is a really fun block. It's just a nice big block that really shows off these kind of detail embroidery pieces. So the thing that I love about this one is the center of this almost shoe fly block has really cute little embroidery in it. Oh, it's very light in here. So this is Sparkler by Melissa Mortensen, and so it's got these like little gold, these are kind of a shimmery gold stars all throughout it. And so I use that as the background. You could also use Dainty Daisy as the background for something like this, but I wanted to do a 2-color one. And so then I picked complementary colors for my cute little flowers. And then I also did some of my little vines in the blue section so that we'd have stitching in the light and the blue. And I bound this, I don't know if you guys can tell, but because the center of the quilt was so simple as far as coloring, I picked something really bold, and so I bound it in the one of the main prints of Stardust. So you can do that with your, simpler quilts, your mini quilts. You can really have fun with your bindings. And that's almost like kind of an exclamation point around the quilt is how cute the binding looks with it. So that is my little 2-color quilt. This one's coming out soon. And then this one you guys are going to love. Let's go back here. This one is called So Blessed. It's kind of longish. But this is a little runner. And it's made up of just simple churn dash blocks, but it has a really sweet embroidery section in the middle. Let me switch over here. Susie says she's following along with her Make It mini book while I do the trunk show. Yay, Susie, that's awesome. So this is, I love these fabrics. I love it's hard to tell in this photo But this is like a really dark teal. So these greens, this is Melissa Lee's fabric. I think it was called Harmony. I'm not 100% sure on that. But check out Melissa Lee. Her designs and her prints are so gorgeous. So this one is called Blessed. And you know what? I'm really going to try and get this runner released this in October so that you guys can make this up if you want to for Thanksgiving. Because wouldn't this be perfect for Thanksgiving? So this one has a really sweet little design here in the center of florals. And then it just shines in the middle of this ginormous churn dash. And then on each side are little mini churn dashes. So you can really have fun with this. You could fussy cut inside these small ones. You could even do that with the big one, you know, fussy cut something pretty here if you didn't want to do the stitching, or you could do 3 big blocks if you didn't want to piece all the little ones. So if you just did 3 big churn dashes and then just add your embroidery to the center, that would be a really great idea as well. So that is the So Blessed runner, and those are all the books, all the quilts in the book. So let me pull back up the Spring Flowers one that we're doing. Just get these out of the way. I hope you guys like these. I really had fun showing them to you. I loved when they sent them to me again. It was like, oh, my friends are back. It was just fun to see them all again in person. There's something about them being in person as opposed to just looking at the pictures. Don't you think? Like, they just really, I don't know if you guys could tell a difference. It's just fun to see the actual quilts, right? Oh, thank you guys so much. Dolores, I will announce when the So Blessed, when both those new, the other blue one I probably won't get done in the next month, but I will announce it on the blog when the So Blessed one is released. So yes, for sure. Okay, so we are starting this cute sew along this week, today. And we're going to start next week with our sewing. So let me show you the schedule here. So our kickoff is today. And then next week we're going to talk about how to assemble the blocks, and you do have to purchase the book to get the patterns and all the instructions, but I will do a sew along and tutorials for all of these steps. So we're going to do the block assembly next week. We'll make up those cute heart flower blocks. Then we'll start stitching our center. So we'll do back stitch and lazy daisies on the 12th. Then we'll do satin stitches, French knots, and woven roses on the 19th. And then I will talk on the 26th about how to put them all together, and we will also talk about quilting. So it's going to be so great. This one is a great starter project to do if you haven't done embroidery before. I will have tutorials for all the stitches, and then you will also be able to find my full in-depth tutorials for all those stitches on YouTube as well if you need to kind of just refresh, like, oh, I can't quite remember what to do with satin stitches. I have a complete satin stitch video on YouTube as well. So I will have a lot of options for you guys. I am going to do I have quite a stack of quilts here. I am going to do, that doesn't work, a fall version this year for my Spring Flowers Quilt. So we're just going to mix and match all of our seasons. This is a fall collection that's out right now. It's called Maple. I've linked to it in the description. It's by Gabriel Neal for Riley Blake Designs. You guys know I'm a Riley Blake girl, so I only sew with Riley Blake fabrics. If I'm ever showing something, you can be 100% sure that it is Riley Blake. So Rhonda says she has just cross-stitched back in college. She's never embroidered. All right, Rhonda, we're going to get you converted here. So it's looking a little crazy in the lighting of being in my room at night at the lights, but this is really pretty. Like, this is like a soft peach. This is a blush. We have rust and this lovely, I don't like purple, but I do love this. This one is what I'm going to sew with. So mine will be fall-ish. And then for the center of my blocks, I'm going to use this great kind of greenish olivey green color. And I'm probably going to fussy cut some of these, like the pumpkin pie or the pumpkins or these really cute little mushrooms. Look how cute that is. Isn't that so great? So this collection is beautiful, you guys. Again, it's called Maple, and I'm actually making a whole quilt with it as well. I started it at Garden of Quilts. I took Amanda Niederhauser's class, and so I'm sewing with that for that quilt as well. So I think it'll be really fun. So all of our videos for the sew along will be Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Time, and they won't be quite this long. We've got a long one here. But hopefully that works out for those of you that are working during the day and can't always tune into the videos. But just like all my other sew alongs, the videos will be available for you to watch at any time. So if you get behind on a week or if you can't start for a couple weeks, that's totally fine. You can, just a reminder, you can find the books at lots of quilt shops and Amazon, Barnes & Noble, my shop. I have them. I have it linked in the video description for you as well today. And you can also find them at Shop Martingale. And if you are overseas, you can order digital copies. So that's a lot more reasonable way to get the book than sometimes paying shipping, which is crazy. International shipping is crazy, y'all. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed the Make It Mini Trunk Show. I've loved hanging out with you guys tonight. I'm so looking forward to this sew along. It's going to be so fun. Please, please, please share your photos of what you're going to be sewing with. Let's see those fabric pulls this week, and we'll start sewing our cute flower box next week. And I hope you guys have a fabulous week. If you're in Florida, please stay safe. We'll be praying for you down there. I hope everybody's okay. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all.